What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? This is Frank from Texas Cigar Society, and welcome to episode 30 of the Stogie Society podcast with our special guest today, Brandon Marsh from Big Sky Cigar Co. Like we always start the show off, we're going to go around with our co-host and ask what we're smoking, what we're pairing. We'll start off with Randall.
So tonight I am smoking the Bighorn from Big Sky here, and I'm pairing it right now with a S. Pellegrino so I can get the full flavors of the cigar, and I might switch to a root beer later.
Nice.
Excellent.
Ugo.
Ugo from Ugo Smokes. I got the Yellowstone, and we're gonna have Brandon tell us all about the blends in a bit. I do have some seltzer water to see maybe it goes well with that, and I do have some low proof tequila.
Nice.
See how it progresses.
Oh, my name is Frank, and I'm smoking the Blackfoot, and I am pairing it with one of the most redneck drinks I think I could think of, Mountain Dew, hard Mountain Dew.
Nice.
I've never had a hard.
And our special guest today is Brandon. Brandon,
how's it going,
what are
guys?
you smoking? What are you drinking, brother?
I'm drinking a Kona Big Wave,
Oh, nice. Those are good.
and then I'm smoking something different than that. I'm smoking Boofy's 11th anniversary.
Oh, nice.
Usually I smoke Big Sky when I go on a Big Sky podcast, but
Hey,
trying something different tonight.
you smoke whatever you want to smoke, man. There's no judgment here. So, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and about how you got into cigars?
Yeah, so grew up in Montana. I love hunting and fishing. Big Sky is branded after the outdoors. Our core line is the Montana River Series. It's 5 blue ribbon trout streams that I grew up fishing, and I love to fish. We have the Yellowstone, Bighorn, Madison, Bitterroot, and Blackfoot cigars that are named after the 5 rivers that I love to fish, obviously. But other than that, after high school, I was in construction, went to college at Montana State, got a business degree. For 10 years, I always wanted to do something. You know, you're making money, you want to figure out what you want to do with your money. And me and my business partner, Jess, we worked together on the same construction crew. And we always had business ideas. And finally, one day we were out smoking a cigar fishing in Montana over by Red Lodge, and we asked, why doesn't Montana have its own cigar company? And so this was in 2018, and this is after like the craft brewery boom, and like right when that craft distillery boom's going on. And I just kind of thought, well, like beer and liquor, they've gone off. Maybe there's going to be a craft cigar boom that's going to happen. And we just did some research and found there's a real cool history of cigars in Montana, dating back to the early 1900s.
Oh, nice.
At one time, there was more cigars coming from Montana to New York City than those coming from Cuba. So it's really cool. And there's a factory in Livingston called the Garnier Cigar Factory that was pumping out 40,000 sticks a month. And back in that time, it's a lot more than today, It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So that's how the concept came of starting Big Sky Cigars. Jess and I are very passionate about cigars. We wouldn't really call ourselves cigar aficionados. We just saw a business opportunity, and we're just learning more and more about cigars every day. We blend every cigar at the factory. We have 10 Vitolas that we have out to the public right now. We have 9 Nicaraguans and 1 Dominican. The Nicaraguans are blended with Carlos Sanchez at the Casa, and then the Dominicans blended with Chico Rivas in the DR.
Oh, nice.
Wow, nice.
Yeah, it's been a cool grind, and it's been a long long road to get to where we're at now. I mean, we first started off as a small brand in Montana, and I'd still consider it small, honestly. But we got into one shop, Stogies, and they gave us our first shot, and they loved us, loved our passion for cigars. And now today, after this past PCA, we've gone to 5 trade shows in a row. We're in 43 states and in 300 mom and pop brick and mortars, and then we just got into some big chain. We got into Smoker Friendly, and they have 800 stores across the country. So Big Sky's really growing in the right direction. We're getting a lot of momentum because of the quality of cigars. And people, I feel, connect with us as far as who we are, and it's been a great ride.
Yeah, that's awesome. So, what role does like Montana play in the identity of your brand? So it's most of everything you have, all your branding is based on stuff dealing with Montana, correct? Like even like the minnows, all the minnows and stuff is all about because of the fishing that you all would do in Montana.
I mean, we made the Mad Minnow because we wanted a great 20, 30-minute cigar. And up north, it gets cold, and 6 months out of the year, you don't want to be outside smoking cigars for an hour. So you want to have a great 20, 30-minute cigar. And even it's great for guys that just want like a quick smoke break. So we made the Mad Minnow. It's been a great selling stick for us. We came out with 2 new blends, the Blonde Minnow and the Chocolate Minnow this past year at PCA. The Chocolate Minnow was a limited release earlier, then we just made it a full release this year. As far as the branding, though, I mean, everything is Montana except for there's one cigar that we have is called El Profesor. It's from a story of when Jess and one of our sales guys went down to Nicaragua, and they picked up a gentleman on the side of the road while they were driving, and he got him out of a jam with the cops. And he was a professor at a university in Leon, and he would drive up to these, or he'd walk up to these, or hitchhike up to these small towns in Nicaragua, and he would tutor them during the weekends. And he hitchhiked back, but we picked him up on his hitchhiking trip back. And so when we were getting back into Leon, we hit a cop stop, and they start getting pretty aggressive with us, asking for our papers, or asking Jess for his papers. And basically, the guy was just being a complete asshole. He was trying to extort us for money. And so he looks in the back seat and he sees this guy and he's like, "Oh, el profesor, lo siento." And so the guy that was pulled us over was one of his students from like 10 years before.
Oh wow!
It's kind of a cool story. So we made a cigar for the professor that we met.
Oh, wow, that's awesome.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
And that was down in Nicaragua, you said?
Correct. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I love how much
Come back from El Sas to Leon. That's where we picked him up, and that's where the road stop was.
Oh.
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, that's cool.
What were you saying?
Oh, so yeah, I was gonna say I love how much of your brand ties into like where you're from and everything. I was checking out your website earlier. Was it your idea to do the tackle box, like cigars mixed with lures and all that?
The original version was that what we did at the beginning is we took a 20 count box and we laid in some cedar, and it was just a bitch to do because we was just pumping like hundreds of these out. So you're just cutting pieces of cedar and sanding them down and gluing them in, and then we put in a dozen flies of cutter and 5 toros or whatever the blend is they wanted. And so then we switched to doing that bamboo engraved magnetic box with 4 Mad Minnows, and it's actually a lot more practical because it fits in your pocket, and we use it when we go fishing. Before, we'd have to put those other boxes on the bank. But now the ones we have in our pockets, we can keep with us.
Yeah, I think it's so cool. I haven't seen anybody else do that.
It's definitely unique. There's nobody else that's done it yet. I mean, but you do something cool, then people will follow, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
So I was going to ask you real quick before we continue on with the show on this Blackfoot. I do notice it says, and that's the only reason I kept it. It says Texas, Montana. What what what's the story behind that?
So in 2022, my business partner got moved down to Houston, and I was on a
Okay.
project in Michigan, and he's like, "Hey, do you want to come down here and go full time Big Sky?" And I was just like, "Yeah, I do. Um, I really believe in what we're doing with Big Sky, and I want to see what we can do with this." And so we moved down to Houston, and I live in Montgomery now, Conroe Woodlands area.
Mhm.
And so I'm actually at my local cigar lounge, Bespoke. So that's where this cool lighting comes from.
Oh, so
Um,
now you're in Houston area?
yeah, I'm in Conroe.
Oh, nice. Oh, that, I mean, yeah,
Yeah,
the area. 'Cause, yeah,
yeah, so,
I love the Woodlands. The Woodlands area is so beautiful.
it is nice. Yeah, North Houston. It's it was an unexpected surprise for me.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool.
So I've been down here for I guess fall of 2022 will be 3 years in September.
Wow, that's awesome.
Check out the burn on this. Ash is holding
Yeah,
it pretty nice.
Oh,
I was gonna say,
cigar check right away.
it is.
Yeah, great construction on this one.
Yeah.
Getting free press movie.
You want to tell us a little bit about each blend, Brandon?
So Hugo, what you're smoking is the Yellowstone, and that was our first cigar that we blended. It's our most mild body cigar. It's an Ecuadorian Connecticut with Nicaraguan binder and filler. It's mild, but it has like a natural sweetness to it. Like I get like a graham cracker taste to it, but it has like a baking spice with graham crackers, so it's very enjoyable for me. I love that cigar in the morning. The Bighorn, that was the second cigar that we released. It's a San Andres wrapper, Nicaraguan binder and filler. It's got like a subtle pepper taste to it with like a dark cacao notes. I'd say it's more of like a medium minus body to it. It's not even for a San Andres. It's very approachable. It's not too
It is.
overbearing. And then the Blackfoot, the one that we did with Chico, that's medium and it builds to a medium full. Um, if I'd say if you could drink that with like a stout beer, like a Guinness, the creaminess of that smoke just pairs really well with the Guinness beer or a stout beer. It's awesome.
Yeah, I can see that. Definitely awesome. And so the initial core line is all based on. You said there were like rivers or lakes in your area that you would fish, right?
Correct. Yeah, the rivers in Montana.
Oh, that's nice. And that's why you have them in that one box, which is I think it's a cool way to like have people try your different blends, having that series, and then of course you're gonna do your minnows and your one-offs and your limiteds and stuff. But I think it's always good to have a good core line and a good box set for the core line, and y'all did it right.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
They look great.
the core line, I mean, it's got to stand up on its own feet, right? And then everything else you build off of it, I mean, it's, I feel like all of our cigars are hitters. Maybe it's not for somebody's palate, but it's for not for everybody's palate, but it's for somebody's palate. You can't be for everybody, right?
Yeah, of
Uh,
course, of course. So, when you started your cigars and your brand, did you have someone you would that would kind of like mentored you and kind of like guided you in the steps in the process of starting your brand and starting your cigars?
Well, as far as starting the brand goes, I mean, we had to learn everything. We had no mentorship. We just had to make the best decisions that we felt that we could make possible. I mean, we were two white guys from Montana that nobody knew, right? So when you go and you start cold calling these factories in Nicaragua and the DR, they're like, "Who are you?" And they wouldn't give us the time of day.
Wow.
And so finally, when we decided to go down to Nicaragua in 2018, we flew down to Managua, hired a driver up to Esteli, and we just got denied. I mean, we'd send emails and called people before, and people wouldn't give us the time of day. Then finally, we were able to get into a small factory called Tobacco Costa, and that's where we blended the Yellowstone. And then the next trip down is where we met master blender Carlos Sanchez, who owns Tecasa. And Carlos is a really big sports fisherman, and he loves hunting, and he just really jived with the Big Sky brand and who me and Jess are as people. And so he wanted to like help build Big Sky as a brand. And so we're one of two craft cigar companies that he has at his factory. Everything else he does is with General. Um, but
Oh, that's
so Carlos has really been instrumental, I would say, as far as in the blending process and building our cigar portfolio. I mean, we come down with a playbook of, hey, Carlos, this is the type of cigar that we want, and we give him the components and the flavor profile, and we're just saying, what do we have to do to make that happen? And when he's got the PhD in tobacco, right? We're just guys that are passionate about it. And so he would come out with a tray of cigars and we say, oh, yeah, we love this about this cigar, I love this about this cigar. It's like, how can we do this different on the next set? And so we just go set after set after set until we come to till we feel like the cigar is where we want it to be.
That's cool. We actually have a question right here. This guy last year reviewed the Bighorn, the one I'm smoking, Bitterroot and Madinal. Second, third was heavy dirt notes, and he didn't like the second, third, but he was saying
Yeah.
what is that part of that blend that he didn't like? He's trying to figure it out.
Is it
The heavy,
maybe he meant
heavy dirt.
like
The
earthy,
heavy.
like earthy, probably like
I
don't-
uh,
Maybe it was just that stick. I don't really get heavy dirt notes from the Bighorn. Are you getting it from it?
I'm not getting it from it.
I'm not.
I get like a light pepper and the cocoa note to it.
mm,
I mean, I always think when you review cigars, you should probably smoke a couple of them. Just don't be one and done with things because they're man made and not that everything's the same. But if you're getting a heavy earth note, it could have been just what the mixture was in the filler. It could have had more of the Cadega filler in it than it was the Ometepe, I guess.
The only I got barnyard off just the smell of the cigar, but I like that. You know what I mean? Like before I even lit it, it was a heavy barnyard smell to the cigar. But I'm just getting light hay and cream now. So
Yeah.
I don't get that, but
so that's the same cigar that he's asking about.
Bighorn, yeah.
Okay, cool. Well, we'll see how your experience compares to Ben's. Maybe Ben has a
Yeah.
broken palate. We'll
Could have
see.
been. Wait, what was he drinking? What is he eating that day? I don't know.
Yeah, that's true. I don't think. Well, does
That's
he?
true. That could play into it, right?
That is true.
But
So,
these questions are pretty good because you're not always gonna get like positive feedback, right? You're always gonna you're sometimes you're gonna get like hard questions like this. So thank you for answering that with all honesty, Brandon.
Oh yeah, no problem. I love it when I get called out.
Hell yeah.
so let's see here.
While you think about that question, I have
Yeah, go ahead.
a question. So you're hooked up with Eladio Diaz. How did that happen, man? Eladio Diaz is a very known blender out there in DR.
Chico Rivas.
Oh, Chico Rivas or Eladio Diaz, he said.
Chico.
Oh, he's still in the DR.
Yeah, he is. How I got introduced with Chico. So this is one of those things is we wanted to create a Dominican cigar, our Final of our River series. And at that Big Sky had already been to 3 PCAs and a TPE, and we've been in a lot of subscription boxes, and as far as a craft or boutique brand, we kind of had some momentum. And so when I reached out to Chico, he knew who were. He knew that we are serious about Big Sky Cigar in our business, and he knew that we weren't messing around. And I just said, hey, uh, I'm setting up factory visits with manufacturers in the DR. Could we come down and meet? Uh, and so we set up 5 different factory visits on that initial trip. And it came down to 2 different factories, a Chico and another guy. And finally, we decided that we were going to go with Chico after smoking his blends, and we ended up working with him, and we blended the Blackfoot. But it was kind of I've always said the cigar game is you have to earn your seat at the table. And to be able to have Chico to entertain even talking with us, we had to put in a lot of work and a lot of sweat for that to happen. I mean, I think if we would have gone out in the very beginning, Chico probably would have just told us to fuck off. That's like, yeah, that's just how that played out. But he was super good to work with. I mean, his cigars are great, and I enjoy the cigars that he puts out, and I think the experience that we had blending the Blackfoot with him, and just our thoughts with his creativity really produced a great cigar.
Yeah, it shows on this blend, man. I'm really enjoying it.
Yeah,
So,
for this to have Nicaraguan binder filler, surprisingly smooth, well
yeah,
balanced.
very, yeah. Well, Carlos is a 73-year-old Cuban. He might be 75 now. I mean, he loves cigars. He knows cigars. He grew up in it, and it's I give a lot of credit to Carlos's tutelage, or whatever you want to call it, when he helps us with the blending.
So Whittleback.
Yeah. So
Nice. So your experience with Chico has been pretty good, huh? He blends some pretty known brands. Pretty big deal.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's. I mean, he's great to work with as far as professionalism, and when you put in an order, they're pretty on top of their game. So as the business part of it, he's got it going on. But as far as the quality of his products, I mean, he's got some great cigars, and Blackfoot just adds to what he does.
What are they serving for dinner at where you're at? He's saying. I don't think it's a restaurant. It's more, you're at a cigar lounge, or something.
Yeah, they're playing dominoes. They're playing 42.
Okay.
So you're just hearing those dominoes hit the table.
So you said the Mad Midow's that's your top seller?
The Cryptid's our top seller. Bitterroot's number 2. Then I'd say the Minnow is probably in the 3-4 range.
Okay. I wonder, do you see an uptick in sales with that in the wintertime because of the small ring gauge, small size? I mean, it's a cool idea, especially Montana winters are pretty harsh, I hear.
I mean, up north, the minnows sell great. Yeah, that time of year. I mean, if you think about just, I don't know, anytime north of Oklahoma, I guess it's when it gets cold. People buy a lot of minnows in the winter.
I have a couple of friends that are from Billings, Montana, and they tell me that like they're, well, I guess that's where y'all started originally, Billings.
Yep. Yeah.
That the, I guess, like -20 sometimes, or like, it could feel like that. We went out for a training when I worked for the oil field with them, and it was like -1. And for me, living in Texas, it was like freezing, and they're in shorts and like a muscle tee, and I'm like, what the fuck? How crazy are you fuckers out there? He's like, man, it's warm out here, and I'm like, shit.
Yeah.
So I can imagine those minnows are probably the perfect size.
Oh, they are. I mean, even just when we're out fishing, Are you out on a boat? It's the perfect size for a cigar. Um, just practical. And
It's a minnow. It's a fish, right? Is that a fish?
Yes.
it's a
Okay.
small fish.
Oh, that's pretty cool. Yeah.
And also this weekend I was at a Cut and Light event, and they were the owner of Club Humidor in San Antonio was talking about, I guess you're that chocolate minnow that I don't know if he's already got it or he's in the process or he's looking into getting it, and we went off on that. So that was a pretty cool thing. Like knowing that we were going to have you on the show, he was talking about how how he likes your cigars, and he was talking
Keith's
about
great.
what Keith, yeah,
Keith's awesome.
dude,
So
he's a badass guy.
we have a great relationship with Club Humidor in San Antonio. Tim at San Pedro is awesome. I can't remember the other guys at Thousand Oaks, and is it Hebner or Hebner?
Yeah, Hebner, Thousand Oaks, and
Hugh
San
Hefner.
Pedro.
Hugh Hefner's over there. Oh, I thought Hugh Hefner.
Oh yeah, Hugh Hefner is everywhere, bro. He lives in all of us now.
Oh yeah, I wish.
We got actually now a positive question from Ben saying you landed two guys cigars. How is it landing a big retailer like that? Because it's a pretty big online retailer, right?
Oh, they're huge. I mean, Garofalo's the biggest retailer in the country, and we were at our first PCA, and we had this small little 10x10 booth, right? And we had our little cigars up on the pedestal or on the shelves, and we see Garofalo and Ed Santa Maria walk up, and they placed an order, and the once Vitola they brought in was the Mad Minnow. And Dave talks about this on the Cigar Authority, and we were on the Cigar Authority not this February, but the February before, and he's just like, when I first started in the game, Carlito came out with a short story, and I just thought it was stupid. I was like, this thing's never gonna work. And so he's just like, I learned my lesson with that. So when you saw us at Big Sky, and those guys gave us a shot, and they've been great to work with. Really helped us grow as far as up in the Northeast and across the country, because there's a large following with the Cigar Authority. But it's been great for us. But you just have to make cigars that people enjoy and keep grinding after it.
Mm-hmm.
So I see a question that the Real Smoke Pod asked was what cigar is your go-to cigar in your line that hits the spot every time? Good question, by the way.
Well, that is a good question. It's at last year I would have said it'd be our Cryptid cigar. I love that blend, and that it's like full flavor but medium body. But now I'm kind of going more towards a medium cigar that's more creamy, and so I really like our Bitterroot cigar. So I'd say that Bitterroot's my go-to right now at the moment. The Bitterroot and the Mad Minnow.
Are you more of a morning smoker, late smoker, all day smoker?
I would say, like, I don't light a cigar right when I first wake up in the morning, but I do enjoy it with a cup of coffee, and then I'll light up a cigar probably around lunch, and then more towards the evening.
Nice.
Oh yeah, it's great with coffee.
Yeah.
So how'd you land on the name Big Sky? Is that because of the view in Montana? Just like open vistas and all that?
Yeah. Right. Well, we threw around a lot of different names for the cigar brand, and we had some cool ones, and then we just, we were in the outdoors, and we just thought, well, Big Sky, Montana's known as Big Sky country. So we're just like, why not name it Big Sky Cigar Co? And so it just stuck and it's fit and it's worked out for us. And then luckily there was that TV show called Yellowstone, so
Yeah,
that
yeah.
that helped us
worked
out a little
out.
bit too.
So that totally inspired this cigar right here, the Yellowstone.
No, not at all.
Oh, come on.
No, when we got the 5-pack, I went on our chat group and I'm like, all right, who wants what cigar? And I knew I wanted the one that had Texas in it. And then Hugo was like, I want the Yellowstone right away. And then I'm like, calm down, bro. Like, give us a chance to like see who might want it. And he's like, no, Yellowstone, I want it.
Hey, dibs, right? I call dibs, man.
Yeah.
Dibs is a dibs, you guys.
Yeah, exactly.
He's asking if we got AJ Jarvis here asking, are you a veteran company?
Jess and I are not veterans, but we do support veteran nonprofits in Montana. One of them is called Warriors in Quiet Waters. They provide therapeutic retreats for post 9/11 veterans.
Oh, nice.
And then we provide also work with a group called Big Sky Bravery, and they do post and pre decompression programs for special operation forces. So
That's nice.
both
That's very
are
nice.
cool veteran nonprofits.
Rando,
that
you
we're
wanted to ask a question from Sean?
Yeah, I just put it up. So Sean's asking, when you started out creating new blends, did you go to blenders with other cigar profiles for as inspiration, or did you go with a certain flavor profile that you wanted to achieve?
Well, I mean, that's part of the research. You smoke other people's cigars that you like. And then you're saying, okay, well, there's things that I like about this cigar, and there's what I like about that cigar. Like, what can we do to bring those together and to create your own? And so it's a little bit of both. I mean, yeah, we would go to the blenders with say, hey, we really enjoy these profiles. Like, how can we make that happen? And we know that this part of the wrapper and the binder and the filler creates that. Like, what do you really need to dial in for those components to give it that final flavor?
For sure.
That makes sense. Let's see.
So, Smoke Signals with Sosa, he's a huge pepperhead, and he asked, "Is there any cigar that was so intense, peppery, or strong that you had to put it down? Or do you have something that's real peppery or strong in your blend that you're like, man, definitely someone it's a pepper can probably enjoy it?"
I'd say our Madison cigar has a really good red pepper to it, but it's not something that's like overbearing, but you will definitely taste it. As far as, there's a lot of cigars that are so peppery that I'm not a pepperhead, so it's not really it's not my jam.
Yeah, so Sosa's one of those guys that wants it to burn going in, coming out. Think about it at night, and it's gonna still burn him. He has his own channel on YouTube where he's like trying to find the strongest, most spiciest cigar out there.
Yeah, that wouldn't be from our portfolio, but I mean, there's others out there.
Yeah,
He's on a quest to get his internal intestines rearranged. What he's doing. So I don't know if you could answer this question from Ben. He's asking how many cigar factories were in Montana back in the day. I don't know what back in the day means, but I mean, is there cigar factories in Montana or that you know of in history?
So if you look back in the research that we've completed, there was 106 cigar factories back in the early 1900s. And so there was like 220 or 250,000 people. So there's a cigar factory for every 2,500 people in Montana. So it was a very big part of our culture. And they say that they were selling cigars in every place that you could except for children's stores.
Oh shoot, that's the hernia. Oh my god, that's just crazy.
So, are there any specific like regions or tobaccos that you gravitate toward you when you're blending your cigars, or when you are giving your the factories to like ideas?
Well, there's 4 growing regions in Nicaragua. You guys know that. I love Nicaraguan tobacco, and Carlos is one of the, if not the most prolific tobacco grower on Ometepe. And I actually really enjoy Ometepe tobacco. So if you're smoking Ometepe, there's probably a 99% chance that's coming from one of Carlos's farms. And so that's really worked out great for us. So I would say Ometepe in Nicaragua is my jam.
Oh wow, nice.
What do you like about Ometepe
It's
for you?
it's very has like a natural sweetness to it, but at the same time it's a creamier smoke for me, and it has like a subtle pepper to it.
Did you ever do the fumas with the just the Ometepe leaf, or just
Yeah, yeah.
yeah? Is that how it tastes like? Because I know like usually sometimes when there's Ometepe tobacco and some cigars, it's more like mineral earth because of the volcanic sediments there.
Yeah. I mean, you do get that part of it too.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, like that Placencia that's like $100. What's it called? It's called the
Oh,
Ometepe,
the one,
right?
the one in the red. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
The one in the flashlight tube.
Yeah. Right.
What are you
Yeah.
doing with those tubes, Hugo?
What? I just hear people. I just hear people talk, bro, and it just stays in my head.
Sure,
Yeah.
sure.
For sure. For sure. Yeah.
Here's a question from the guest. What was something that you learned that you didn't expect on the business side of things?
So we started Big Sky in 2018, and it's 2025, and we're still earning our seat at the table. I mean, there's a lot of businesses where you can get in and you can make money a lot faster. But I believe that the cigar game and how we're going about Big Sky, how we're growing it, just kind of brick by brick, is creating a great foundation to where one day Big Sky is going to be one of those brands that people talk about in 20 years. It's going to be in every humidor in the country.
So
But
you're
it takes
leaning
a lot.
toward being like a legacy brand, because right now you're kind of considered like a boutique brand, right? Kind of small
Oh,
batch stuff.
100% we're boutique.
Yeah.
And a part of that is, and to answer that question in 2 parts, the legacy part of it is like I have a son and Jess has a son, and we would love it if they took over Big Sky. And so, just kind of like Padron's legacy cigar that he just put out. Like I would love to do that one day with my son Maverick. And then, what was the second question there was?
Oh,
Oh,
it was
was it from the guest or?
business from the business side of things. What was something you learned that you didn't expect from the business side of things?
Oh yeah.
But just the amount of time it took to make Big Sky to become a small success in the cigar world has taken a lot of work. I mean, this is every day, all day long. I mean, I still work another job while I'm doing Big Sky at the same time. And so it took a lot of time to develop the framework. I mean, now Jess and I were the only investors in Big Sky, so we've had to slowly grow our inventory as fast as the inventory could grow. So I'd say we're boutique in this aspect is because we don't have $5 million to go and buy a bunch of cigars like some of these other guys can. So we came in and we bought like $20,000 worth of cigars, and we've just been building off of that, year after year, turn after turn. So it's been a long grind for the way that we've gone about it.
Did COVID help or hurt your business?
I would say the COVID helped us because it made people they couldn't go into their brick and mortars want to try different things, and it kind of helped uh, jet off the cigar boom that happened in 2019 and 2020. Like, everybody was sitting around and they needed something to do, so they were smoking cigars. So I'd say COVID helped us.
Go
Oh, yeah.
figure. Go figure. A pandemic that affects the lungs is when the cigar industry took a boom, right?
Yeah.
Well, you got a nice clean website too, I must
Yeah.
say.
Yeah.
Appreciate that. That's a lot of work.
Yeah, easy to navigate though, so it was worth it. I would say.
Yeah. I was gonna. It's one of my questions. It's very approachable, which there are some cigar brands that have good like pictures and stuff, but it's very hard to navigate through. And yours is definitely very, very good. Very well done.
Well, as far as our marketing goes, and if you look at the presentation of our products and our website, I mean, we've always said every decision that we make, we have to do it right. And that comes with our social media, like our Instagram. I would say our Instagram is one of the best Instagrams of any cigar company in the world. I mean, our Instagram's great, just as far as the content that's on there. And then our website, I mean, it has to be clean, has to be functional, very user friendly, like you guys were saying. So we have to do things right, so when people see it, they take it serious.
Yeah.
Let's got a question here from AZ. He's asking if you like Cuban cigars and what do you think about warped cigars?
I mean, I've smoked some Cubans. You can kind of tell like people have said that Cubans are what they are. But then I also smoked some Cubans that were just trash. But that's kind of any cigar in the world, right?
Yeah, any cigar can be bad.
Yeah.
But there's definitely that natural profile of a Cuban that's very unique.
Mm-hmm.
But then as far as warped cigar, I couldn't tell you the last warped cigar that I smoked, to be honest. But I know that they're doing some great stuff.
They're doing a lot of releases lately, but it's like a thing we have here in the community with the warp. I mean, some people love them, some people hate them. He always asks that question.
I got respect for is it Jealous that made warped?
Kyle Gillis.
Gillis, yeah. I got respect for him. I mean, any person that's doing what we're doing, it's a lot of work and a lot more than people see. So what they're doing, he's doing it right. He's definitely gaining a lot of momentum.
Real quick, cigar check.
Oh, yeah.
I like how we're all at different spots.
Yeah. Well, I'm at almost at the end because it's a robusto. So, and we kind of started a few minutes before. I do gotta say that I do pick up the you said you get baking spices.
Yeah.
I got some type of spice, but I got a really pronounced like anise note, like kind of like that black licorice. And the transitioning from like the first to the second, third, and then like from like halfway to now, it got like this sweet nuance on it. So pretty good.
You don't get the graham cracker yet?
Yeah, like that's. I'm just calling it like a sweet note, but maybe you call it graham cracker. Maybe it's not as pronounced in this cigar, but I did like at halfway point, like I got that like a sweet note.
Mm-hmm.
What's the off topic? What's the biggest fish you ever caught?
Cuda down in Belize.
Nice.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
That's short for barracuda.
Yeah.
Okay, like the huge ones, right? With the
Huge
yeah.
ones.
Yeah. Oh, damn, that's crazy. No wonder people were asking here. There's like two people asking questions about lure cigars because fishing and lures. So they're asking if you would ever collab with lure. Let's see, where's that?
Uh,
Here you go. Lure cigars. What would if you collab with lure cigars? What would the name of the cigar be?
I have no clue.
I
I
haven't
mean,
smoked any. I think Frank has experience with lure cigars, right? Frank, you have a
Yeah,
few.
yeah, they're pretty good. Lou makes some good cigars. I haven't had many of their blends. I've had a couple. But they're an up and coming boutique brand as well.
yeah, he's got it going on. So
Yeah, yeah. So another question from the chat here. Real Smoke Pod says, so when going to a blender, looking for them to make a blend for you, what cigar were you enjoying that you wanted to make? I don't know if you're willing to like say like, hey, you know what, this is this is one of the cigars that I kind of wanted to not necessarily copy, but kind of like the flavor notes and profile you liked when going to like any of your blends.
uh, the Melanio, I really enjoy that cigar, and there's
Oliva?
one of the cigars in our portfolio. Yeah, the Oliva, and I just was like, I just thought it's very approachable, and I wanted to mirror one of our cigars that was kind of similar to that.
Nice, nice. And so like if someone's just starting off or not as experienced of a smoker, what what blend or what one which one of your line would you
Recommend.
recommend to them?
I mean, probably go more mild to medium bodied for sure, just depending on who they are. If they're more of like a nicotine head and they want something that's more full body, then I would say go with like a chocolate minnow or cryptid, because they're going to try to rip it pretty fast and get as much flavor and full body as they can. But I'd
Yeah.
say if somebody is new and they want to get into cigars and enjoy cigars, I'd say go with like the Yellowstone or the Bitterroot.
Yeah, this one's
This,
pretty medium minus, I would say. Very
yeah,
approachable.
same with this one. This question's making me laugh. Now that you have your own brand, are you the type of owner that smokes other cigar brands, or would you rather be caught dead with the competitive cigar in your hand?
I think we know the question for that.
Yeah.
Usually I smoke my own cigars, but I do like to take recommendations, and I do appreciate other people's work as well. I mean, this 11th from Boots, very enjoyable at the moment.
Well, and that's yeah, and I mean, like, just because you have a brand doesn't mean you cut out everything else, right? Like that's how you fell in love with it to begin with,
Yeah.
Yeah,
smoking other stuff, right?
In the end, you're a smoker, right? I mean, you
yeah,
want to try as much, and maybe it might give you an idea for a future blend, or hey, you know this particular leaf I really enjoyed. Maybe it might go good with another, you know, for another future blend in your line. So I know we've been talking about the fact that you're a boutique. Are you okay with that moniker of boutique right now? Like some people, even with newer cigars, they don't want to be known as boutique brand.
I
Are
just
you
think
okay
it's
with that?
I think it's just the reality of where we're at, uh, and I haven't earned the right to be more than a legacy brand. Be a legacy brand or to be more than. I mean, to be more than a boutique, they say technically you have to sell more than 1 million cigars a year, and I mean we're getting closer to that number every year.
Yeah.
But right now, I don't really care. Call Big Sky whatever you want to call it. Just let me know if you enjoy the smoke or not. That's what matters to me. Because
Yeah.
when we came out with cigars, I mean, we wanted to create a business to where we could create a product that people enjoyed. And that's the biggest thing for us is like we like to get feedback from people that say, hey, this is what I really loved about this cigar. And we get a ton of emails from people that talk about smoking one of our river series and they fish that river with it. It could be a guy from the East Coast. He's like, oh, I grew up in Montana and I used to fish that river with my dad. And it brought me back this memory. And I just want to tell you that like it's a great cigar and it gave me this wonderful experience. It brought me back this beautiful memory in my life. And I think that's what you should go for in the cigar world is you want to enjoy it and you want to have an amazing experience and you want to be brought back to amazing experiences in your life.
Nice. Smoke Grill Podcast asking tobacco that you would like to work with in the future.
I mean, we have access to pretty much any tobacco that we want.
Hey, that's a good thing too, because
Yeah.
accessing the tobaccos, man, that's like a hard step, I would imagine, in making your own blend, right? Because you can't just walk to fucking Nicaragua DR and be like, hey, give me fucking 10 bales of this fucking blend, whatever.
Yeah, I mean, Carlos, he's been in the game long enough. He has his own fields that he grows as far as in Nicaragua, and he has the right relationships to get any tobacco he wants from around the world. And the same with Chico. So I really love Nicaraguan tobacco, and I love San Andreas. And to me, Dominican has been very mellow to me. But what I like about that Blackfoot with that San Andreas wrapper, it doesn't smoke like a Dominican cigar to me. It's a very flavorful Dominican cigar, and I like flavor.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
Do you how long do you typically age your cigars for?
That's a good question, man.
So the tobacco is all 3 to 4 years old, but after they're rolled, every cigar rests for at least 4 months.
Cool. Nice.
And that's before they get they're made in DR, you said, and then they get shipped over here.
Nicaragua.
I thought they were they're in DR, no? Or Nicaragua.
Both.
Oh, okay, yeah, you got both. Okay.
So after you roll them, you let them rest for at least 3 to 4 months. You want to let them rest at least 4 months. So usually when people are smoking a cigar from Big Sky, they've been rolled for at least 6 months.
Okay, nice.
And the post production, how are the tobacco leaves aged for a certain amount of period, or it varies?
Well, most of the leaves are 3 to 4 years old.
Oh, okay. So they got the age in the post rolling. Okay, nice.
Or pre-rolling. Because
Pre-roll. Sorry, yeah,
pre-rolled. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay. Nice.
So another question from Cigar Apostle Crespin. He asked, "Do you choose the name first or after making a blend?"
Before.
Before. There you go.
Nice. Oh yeah. Someone who pays attention to detail. Okay.
Yeah. So how has the cigar community received Big Sky? Has there been any standout moments?
What do you mean by stand out?
Like
Memorable.
not well, like I don't even know how to describe it, but like
A milestone, like a milestone that you're proud of, or something, or
yeah, kind of like, hey, you know what, this particular reviewer or cigar aficionado or anything mentioned your brand, or anything like that, like where you've been mentioned
Well,
on a
I
higher
mean,
level.
just internally, there's a retail chain called Smoker Friendly, and they own 800 stores across the country. And we got into their Montana locations back in 2020, 2021 at our first trade show, TPE.
Mm.
And every year we, reached out to their cigar manager and just said, hey, what would it take to get into your other locations outside of Montana? And, we just weren't there yet as a company. And then we got an email 2 weeks ago and it said, hey, your cigar sales are so great in Montana that we want to bring you into our main warehouse in Florida and have you available for every store across the country. And that's
Oh,
something
Oh,
that,
wow.
we've been working for 4 years. So that was pretty cool. And then this past PCA, there's a lady that's came by from Famous Smoke, and she came by 3 years ago, and she's like, hey, I want to learn about Big Sky. And so she tried the cigars, she liked them, and then she came back every year. And finally, this year, we met their criteria of Big Sky was big enough to where that we're going to be considered to be brought into Famous Smoke. So I mean,
Oh, nice.
it's kind of cool for us, because like we're just young guns on the block, and we're getting all these learning opportunities it's just cool to get opportunities like that. And traditionally they work with just legacy brands, so it's more of like Big Sky's getting known across the country, and that obviously our reputation's growing in a positive way, and people are enjoying our cigars, and we're selling. I mean, we sell out of our cigars, and it's awesome, and that's why we keep growing. And so it's just like we're doing something right, and they say the proof's in the pudding. And so it's just that's what kind of keeps me grinding every day. Is just those type of opportunities that happen.
Oh yeah, nice. You're stretching yourself out as far as distribution, so that's good. Getting your
Yeah,
cigars out. Hell yeah.
I, I
So,
and another thing is when we got invited onto the Cigar Authority, that was badass.
mm,
Uh, there's the biggest cigar, uh, longest running cigar podcast in the world. And so we're on this like stage. It's got all the lights, and he's got his technical guy there beneath the stage, and it's me and Jess, and then Mr. Jonathan and Mr. Garofalo are there, and we're just cutting up, going back and forth, talking about Big Sky and how we started and what we're doing. And it's cool that we're getting those opportunities, and it's just we're getting those opportunities because people are recognizing, one, that we have great cigars, and two, that we are actually treating this as a legit business, and it is a legit business, and it's a brand that's growing in the right direction.
Oh, yeah.
nice. We got a question from the Widowback Cigars, and I'm gonna add to it. So he's asking the worst cigar you've ever experienced, and then I'm gonna add what's the best cigar you've ever had. Of course, not counting Big Sky, right?
Yeah. Uh, the worst cigar that I've ever experienced. I mean, I don't really want to say because I don't like talking smack. I
Okay,
don't like
so
talking trash.
you've had what didn't you like about it without
I
saying the
don't like
brand?
I don't like a cigar that's gonna melt your face. I'm not into that like full throttle, full body cigar. I
Okay,
want something that I can enjoy, that I can smoke any time of day.
awesome.
Um,
Yeah, like a well balanced cigar, right?
yeah, 100%. And then the best cigar I smoke, I mean, if it's medium bodied and creamy, I mean, I'll smoke that any day. So that's what I gravitate towards.
Okay, that's fair. Nice.
So, are there any plans for like a Lancero or a non-straight Parejo Batola besides the Salomon?
Not at this time, no.
Okay.
You have to look at it from a business aspect. Our cigars, our core lines are Toros, and we have the one Robusto and the Yellowstone. Um, so those are the highest selling cigars in the cigar market. And so a
Yeah.
Lancero, statistically, and if you are in the cigar game, on the business side, it's the worst selling cigar that you can make. I can come out with a release of cigars, and a guy that loves Lanceros is going to buy one box of them, and then he's going to keep it. But the Lancero smokers, I mean, they just don't buy boxes and boxes of Lanceros.
Yeah,
So,
and it's a small niche that likes Lanceros. I count myself in that niche.
yeah, yeah.
Little,
So, like one day, I mean, a Lancero is great with the flavor that you get from it. Um, but it's just, we need to have cigars that move to help grow our business. So that's where our
yeah,
money's invested into cigars that are movers.
yeah. But I know that if you ever did want to make a Lancero, Chico will make a banger Lancero for you because he makes pretty good Lanceros.
Oh yeah, he does.
Yeah.
So he's got the knowledge, which is another important aspect that you need to have. You need to have an experienced roller, right, for that Vitola.
Oh, you do. You do.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
So, what's your approach when it comes to engaging with local shops and lounges? Like, how do you reach out to them, or do they reach out to you? Or, I mean, do you travel out to these places and still try to, like, you know, give them your blends to see if they'll put you in their shops? Or
Yeah. I mean, I I learned a lesson in Houston. I just walked into a shop without a meeting or an appointment, and I was taught that that was very rude. So I've learned that if you're going to show up, at least call ahead, let them know that you're coming to be polite. Um, and but then when you go, just have a presentation that's approachable. I mean, our marketing material is top notch. Our presentation of our cigars and our portfolio of cigars has a cigar that fits a lot of different palates. So we fit a wide spectrum of cigar smokers. And so when I go in and I talk to a shop owner, I like to ask them like what do they like to smoke, and then like get them something out of our portfolio that I feel fits their flavor palette. And then I talk about that blend. I talk about the story. Talk about what we're doing as a business, and talk about what we are as far as a business, our fulfillment side of it, how we've grown. When you say you're in 43 states and over 300 stores, then people start listening to you because they realize that there's a lot of people that come out with cigar companies, but they don't stick to it. They don't give grit to build up to this point yet. And I mean, still where we're at, we're not where we need to be yet to where Big Sky is. Um, Big Sky is not there yet, but it's getting close. It's getting closer every day. And I think when we get into that 500 accounts, then that's when I can step away from what I do on my day-to-day job, and I can go full-time Big Sky.
Nice.
Yeah.
Man, you guys are in a lot of retail partners, right? 300. That's quite a big number there.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, you mentioned that one of your strategies is to pitch that your cigar fit a lot of people's palates. Is that like your forte in your brand? You would say that a lot of
Well,
people can gravitate towards. They can pick up any cigar and enjoy it.
well, and then just the Vitolas. I mean, we don't
Mm,
have a lot of SKUs. So if you
mm,
wanted to bring Big Sky into your shop, I mean, it's really easy to put in 10 facings versus some people that have like 20 or 30. So if you wanted to
okay.
bring Big Sky in, our barrier to entry is a little lower than a lot of shops. So that helps us out. Um, and we just want to earn people's business.
Yeah, for
So
sure.
if they want to bring us in, we don't have a minimum, but we have a recommended. If somebody says they want to bring in one cigar line, I mean, I'm just gonna say like, why? Like that's not even worth your time. Like, let's be real. I mean, let's give Big Sky a shot. At least give us like 4 or 5. and let's see what those 4 or 5 do. I'll give you 4 or 5 cigars from our line, and they're fucking bangers. And I know that these cigars are gonna sell. Excuse me for swearing if it's not cool with you
No, no,
guys,
of course, man.
but
Oh, good.
Yeah.
I'll give you 4 or 5 of my Vitolas, and I know they're going to sell and they're going to do good. And then let's talk after these move because I know there's going to be excitement because you're going to have some trust with what I have to say.
Yeah.
Do you offer them the jig box and the fly box, or is that only online only thing because it's a specialty in a way?
So that fly box, when we initially made that, there's an online store called Bespoke, and they do like manned subscription boxes. And so we made 10,000 of those for Bespoke, and it was the best-selling product that they've ever launched initially. And that was really cool when they came back. That was another one of those moments. You guys talk about moments. It was cool for us. You know, like this nationally known, internationally known subscription box says that our Mad Minnow Fly Box was the best initial product they'd ever launched. So that was awesome. So we did that, and then we had that on back burner, and then we released it after our agreement was with Bespoke to the public about 2 years later.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
And going, keeping the subject with the Mad Meadows, he's asking who ties the flies for your boxes.
Montana Fly Company.
Wow.
Oh,
That's pretty
interesting.
cool.
Nice. Now, I know like a lot of these brands come out with like LEs and special editions. Are there any plans for Big Sky to have any type of like LEs or special edition cigars that are outside of the core lines?
I mean, it's not really in our business model. I mean, there's some guys that they have so many different LEs. It's like their whole business is based off of LEs. I mean, we released Chocolate Minnow 3 years ago as an LE, but then we brought it into full production this year. So if we do, maybe it's like we're going to release a cigar to like do as like a test to see how it's going to do in the market, and then we bring it into full production after that. 'Cause, like the Chocolate Minnow had such a great response, and after we released it, we had so many requests from retailers to bring it in as a full. We just bring it in full time. So that's kind of what happened with the Chocolate Minnow. So if we did that, I mean, we would do an LE as kind of like a tester to see like what the public thought.
That you said the chocolate minnow, is that like a flavored cigar, or why is it called the chocolate?
It's the name of a fish, I think.
It's a Maduro wrapper, so but it has like a dark cacao flavor notes to it. And some
Okay. Okay,
But
so
it's
that's
natural, right? It's
It's
still
not like-
natural.
Yeah.
Okay.
not like aromatic or infused tobacco, right?
No, it's not infused at all.
Okay, cool. Nice.
So I guess this is kind of like a personal question, but what is your go-to pairing with your cigars?
Well, with that black food, I like a good stout beer. Just like a bourbon or a rye whiskey. Really,
Nice.
I'm not a huge beer guy. Even though I'm drinking a big wave right now, beer kind of gives me a little bit of heartburn.
Yeah, I understand that.
Yeah, Frank's he's a big
I'm
beer.
a beer person, yeah. And I will say sometimes, like since I'm an IPA type drinker, there are not a lot of cigars that pair well with IPAs, but I still, for me, that's what I drink more so than like the whiskeys or bourbons and stuff.
Well, I mean, like
I-
IPAs, I feel like it just like kind of like drown your
Overpower.
palate.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it kind of does
It
overpower.
blows out. Yeah, it can overpower it easily.
Okay,
But I do the same thing, Frank.
dude,
Yeah.
try the Chinchale or the Istanbul with the IPA. I think the floral hoppiness combination maybe will work.
Well, I do have an Istanbul that I need to try, and I probably will do it with an IPA.
There you go. Hell yeah.
So yeah.
All cigars per what? Oh, he's asking if you ever caught a tiger trout. I've heard of a rainbow trout. I haven't heard of a tiger trout.
I haven't. No.
I'll turn on my light here. Nice. So what big plans does Big Sky have for the future? Any collabs with anybody or new lines, or just you're just gonna keep on pushing your portfolio that you have now?
Well, big sky, big plans, and sky's the limit. Somebody told me that. Uh, we're just building our inventory right now, and as we're expanding across all these brick and mortars, we have to have our inventory right as far as our floor lines and what our current offerings are in our small portfolio. So a lot of our money is reinvested back into like just building that inventory up. Like I said, Jess and I, we're the only investors in Big Sky. We're construction workers, and uh, if we had money to play around with to where we could do a lot of cool LEs or make a bunch of cool swag, then we'd definitely be doing that. But it's going to come in moments when we can do that and it makes sense for our business.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah,
makes a lot of sense.
Oh yeah, any risk is going to require some funding.
Yeah. I mean, every decision we make, it has to be the right decision. If we can't do something that's wrong, we can't afford to put money into an LE, then it sucks. I mean, we wouldn't release an LE that sucked anyways. But I don't know. We just have to make sure that every decision we make is the right decision.
yeah.
So are there any like dream collabs like you'd want to do with any like brand or blender, and if so, who would it be?
I mean, if I could ever do anything with the drone, that'd be pretty sick.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I always think Padrones, like when I think of how I'd want my cigar business built, I admire what they're doing as far as a business. I admire the business of Perdomo, even though I don't smoke a lot of Perdomo.
Yeah.
Perdomo. Yeah, Nick.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're
I
solid.
think if I could do something with Padron, that'd be pretty sweet.
Nice.
Big company. That's a big name right there.
Yeah. Very good name.
Now, when I think of Nicaraguan blends, I think like Padron right away, man. It's like bold, punchy. I kind of stay away from those. I just had the 60th Maduro, and man, that thing was like full everything till from light up till the end, bro. Like damn,
yeah,
big
but
ass and perfecto.
But then when you go to the 64 Maduro, and that shit's fire, dude.
The what? Which one?
The Padron 64 Maduro.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I've had the 64 Maduro.
I love that one.
For some reason, the 60th for me, man, it was like punchy. And a lot of people were saying that it was punchy for the first third, and then it kind of dropped off from the intensity. But for me, it was just like there like the whole time, man. It was like look at Mike Tyson and shit.
Fighting your ear off.
Yeah, bro. Literally.
Is there any person you would collab with, either celebrity or otherwise? I guess celebrity, because otherwise it'd be kind of weird to just pair something. Oh, I guess you said earlier your son, right? Didn't you say something like that?
In the future,
I mean, I think the legacy cigar that came out with Nick and Nicholas was cool. As far as like a celeb collab, I don't know. I mean, that's just getting so overplayed right now. I think it's kind of lame, honestly. I
and
mean,
then right now, I love.
every person is famous that enjoyed cigars. I feel like every cigar factory or manufacturer is reaching out to them. Hey, do you want to do a collaboration with us?
Yeah.
Uh,
And I think lots of
yeah,
times, the for me, like I see that a lot of these celebrity cigars have a stigma to them, where people don't really like gravitate toward them. And I don't know if it's because of the particular celebrity, or they just maybe think that these particular brands just can't sell a certain cigar, and they just tack on a name like Tyson or
Yeah,
Malone or
I see it
somebody.
like more like of a marketing gimmick, which
Yeah,
that's why it doesn't really draw my attention. So I'm like, these guys are just putting a celebrity name just to make a
Yeah,
sale, like, and because a lot of them are like mediocre, to be honest with
yeah.
you. I haven't really heard of like a banger
I, I
celeb collab. So
I think the only one that I could say maybe did good because of his palate would be Guy Fieri with his
the knuckle
knuckle
sandwich.
sandwich. Yeah,
knuckle
those are good.
sandwich. Because I mean, you go with a guy that has this, like a golden palate when it comes to like flavored notes and stuff. He would know what kind of cigar would do best. So maybe finding celebs like that have that ability to know what they like and have that flavor note stuff that they can you know name and stuff. So
Dude, go with a fucking cigar maker that knows what they're doing.
oh,
You
that's
know,
true. Yeah.
it's fucking Tyson made Gurkha made Tyson. Is like, damn, we don't.
yeah. I've never
Yeah.
even smoked one of the Tysons. I don't know if it's good. I mean,
I
I know
I don't
Karl
even think I would
Malone's
buy one.
cigar. I'm not a big
Yeah.
La Aurora fan. Like I said, I'm not really a big Dominican guy. The only reason
Uh,
why we went to the DR is because we wanted to, and a business wise, diverse our supply chain
Mhm.
because Nicaragua is so crazy. You don't know when they're going to become the next Cuba. Like,
mm,
Yeah.
especially with all the stuff they're doing with letting, what was it that they were letting Russia uh, perform military exercises there a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
When I saw that, I was like, hey man, do you want to look at DR and like maybe see if we can like find somebody that rolls cigars over there that fit our profile. And luckily we found Chico, and he did. He does.
oh
That's
yeah.
the whole. That's the whole thing that we went to the DRs for. Well, kind of two, getting a Dominican cigar because there's a lot of Dominican smokers, and two, just having a relationship over in the DR just in case Nicaragua decides to go completely crazy.
So Greg, but what about Fuente? Fuente, I think it makes phenomenal Dominican cigars. Would you agree, or you don't like Fuente either?
I mean, I think Fuente does a good job. I don't think Opus is worth the money, but that's just me. I mean, if we
Yeah.
want to keep it real, I
Yeah.
mean, but when you're paying with Opus, I mean, you're paying for to have the feeling of that in your hand. And I think it's more the feeling of what you're smoking. I mean, you have a beautiful box, a beautiful band, and you have a beautiful cigar, but I don't think it's worth the amount of money that you're spending.
I think for a lot of like smokers like us, I think the 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 mystique behind the Fuente and the Opuses and stuff is more the trying to find them, and the searching for them,
The
and
hunt,
trying to find them at retail at
dude. That's what I was
MSRP.
gonna say because most of these cigars are fucking super marked up by
Yeah.
retailers, by online third parties or second hand whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah, when you get a cigar that's like double MSRP, you're supposed to be paying half for it, and it doesn't hit the palate. Yeah, you kind of be upset, but Um, I think in general, most people that I've heard that smoke Opus, if you let them sit for a while, which kind of defeats the purpose of smoking a cigar, then
Yeah.
they get really good. But I'm not really big into Opus like that. But I do enjoy like the core line Fuente stuff. Like Don Carlos line is great for me.
Yeah.
Stuff like
Casa,
that.
Casa Cuba
Yeah,
and all
Casa
that.
Cubas
Yeah.
are great.
Oh, Casa Cuba, man,
Yeah.
it's a jam
Yeah.
right there.
Yeah.
Casa Fuente too.
Casa Fuente is really
Yeah.
good. Yeah. So any advice for somebody who wants to start their own cigar brand?
Be ready to grind for a really long time before you get any sort of results. Uh, be ready for delayed gratification. That's for sure. Like if you want to get into the business, make sure it's your passion and the. I mean, you're gonna have small victories, and small victories lead to big victories. Uh, but it takes a really long time. Really long time.
Yeah.
And I mean that's kind of what makes the cigar industry real. I mean, there's so many people that come in here and try to buy their way into it, and their cigars are shit, and then people don't buy them, you know. And then it's like, hey, like your cigars suck, even though you have a $30 cigar. Like I'm not gonna pay money for that.
Yeah.
So I saw a comment. I guess going back to that
Who?
the celebrity question.
Oh, here,
Yeah,
Sean.
Cole Hauser would probably be the obvious choice for your. I mean,
So I was talking with Lee like 3 years ago with Stolen Throne, and he told me he's doing a cigar with Cole Hauser, but that was 3 years ago. So I don't know if that project fell through or what. But he told me that I was at Smoke Ring in Webster in 2022. He's like, yeah, I got a cigar coming out with Cole Hauser, and I mean, hopefully he still has it in the works and it's just resting, but I haven't seen it released yet.
so
Maybe I shouldn't have said that. I could have just
Hauser.
blown an industry secret. Do not repeat that, guys. Do not repeat that. Cross this out of the show.
so any final words? Because we're coming close to the end of the show. Any final words you want to say to the cigar community tuning in tonight?
Yeah, I hope you all enjoyed listening to the story of Big Sky. And if you smoke Big Sky cigar, I just want to say thank you for the opportunity. And if you haven't yet, give us a shot. I mean, we have some great cigars and a profile that fits almost every palate. We're growing an upcoming brand, and one day, hopefully, I can pass it down to my son Maverick, and we're definitely here for the long haul.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So, what we since we're already coming close to the end of the show, we're gonna go around with our co-host and see what they have coming down the line. Starting with Randall.
Yeah, probably tomorrow I will film either a review or some topical video. Haven't decided yet, but it depends on what kind of time I have. And then probably something else on Sunday. That's usually when I film. So something.
Yeah.
Something's got to come up. What do you
Yeah,
got lined
I'm
up in your
excited.
What do you got lined up in your fucking dry box, bro?
I actually got a Padron in there, and
Padron, which one? Do you remember or no?
the 64 Natural Presidente.
Presidente.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
And then I
Cool.
saw APERF just released a review
The 64.
with the Padron. Yeah, I think it was a 64, but it wasn't the Presidente size. It was a smaller one. But
Okay.
I was like, but it kind of made me want to smoke it more. So, JD.
We're taking turns here.
Hey, this hard Mountain Dew it's kicking in.
It's pretty hard.
only one of us gets to get trashed during the episode.
That's what she said.
Yeah. How about you, Hugo?
Tomorrow, keeping in line with the Zodiacs, I'm dropping the Placencia Year of the Snake 2025. And
Nice.
I actually smoked one of the Culebra, so that was a pretty interesting experience. First Culebra on the channel, first Culebra that I actually smoked, and it's the Year of the Snake, so pretty cool, huh? Pretty redundant there. That's tomorrow, Thursday. Then I got my Friday morning live. I think I'm gonna smoke a Harlan cigar that was sent in from Eric. What's his fucking name now? Midnight Cigars.
Yeah.
Midnight Cigars, and then Gonna drop that, especially for Brandon on Saturday morning. Arturo Fuente Opus X 25th anniversary. Perfecto.
I love it. I love it.
Let me tell you, man, that's one of the opuses that I smoked fresh that have came out, and it's spoiler alert, it's pretty good, man. Um, so yeah, so
for the price, it better be good.
Yeah. Right.
yeah, for the price. Well, you know, the MSRP on that cigar is $58. You know,
Wow.
yeah,
$58.
they've been on sale, you know, at the secondary market for up to $300.
Yeah.
Right? That's ridiculous. Don't fucking buy those cigars at $300, right? But yeah, so that's what I got.
Nice. Yeah, I'm finishing editing the review for the Plasencia Year of the Dragon that you gave me, Hugo.
Oh,
That should
nice.
be out. That should be out probably Friday afternoon, and then I have another Cuban cigar review that I have to push out as well. So
Nice.
I'm getting them. I'm getting them out little by little.
Hell yeah.
But
Finally, fucking Zodiac, bro.
I know, dude. That was actually a really good cigar, man. I mean, I don't want to spoil it too much, but it was definitely. I liked it. But
Yeah.
So with that in mind, I think it's we're gonna go ahead and end the show. It's already 10 o'clock. Brandon, thank you so much for joining, man. It was a great show, good conversation. Can't wait to see what other stuff is coming down the line with Big Sky. Hopefully later on down the road, we maybe might have you back on if you're willing to come back on. And I can't wait to try your other lines, man. I mean, I know that luckily here we have that Club Humidor that has your brand, so I'm gonna check out the other ones that I happen to give out to the guys. So I do want to try the rest of your core line and the minnows as well. So definitely be checking those out. Probably do a review on those as well when they do come out. But yeah, thank you so much, man. And I know I speak for everyone here on the panel. I know it takes time to come on these shows, and it's an hour and a half and stuff, but we really had a good time, man.
Yeah, Brandon. Oh, did he leave? Oh, there you are. Yeah, we can hear you.
We got you.
Yeah, thanks for coming on, bro. Thanks for sending in your cigars for us to try.
Yeah,
Look forward
I really
to.
enjoyed it.
Yeah. Randall, you got anything you want to throw in before we?
Oh, just thanks everybody for joining. Thanks for all the great questions to Brandon. Thank you, Brandon, for coming on. And we'll see you guys next week.
Definitely.
Brandon, any last words you want to tell these people, these lovely people in the chat?
Yeah, just smoke Big Sky, guys. Just give it a shot. You'll love it.
Awesome. Cool. And with that, we're out of here. See you guys on the next one.